Hey, welcome back. I'm Nico.
And I'm Emma. Really glad you're here today.
So, honest confession before we start. Last week, I couldn't sleep. I'm a software developer, and my brain just kept going. AI is getting so good at writing code now, like genuinely good. And I just couldn't stop thinking about it. Am I becoming less valuable? What does this mean for my job in 1 or 2 years? On and on.
I had almost the exact same week. I'm an English teacher, and I keep seeing these AI tools that tutor, correct, have full conversations with learners. Caught myself at midnight thinking, what does that mean for my job, for my income?
And neither of us could switch off these thoughts. And it affects everything, our sleep, our focus, even how we feel at work the next day.
Which is exactly why we're making this episode. Today we're talking about overthinking. Not whether the fear is real, it might be, but what our brains do with it.
By the end, you'll know 1. What overthinking actually is. 2. Why your brain gets stuck in it. 3. How to talk about it in natural English.
Before we start, tell us in the comments, what do you overthink most right now? Work? AI? Your English? Write it down. We want to see you practicing.
Hit the like button if this feels useful. It really helps us. Okay,
Let's get into it. So, what is overthinking? And I want to be careful here because most people just say, it's when you think too much. But that's not quite right.
yeah, thinking a lot isn't automatically a problem. Sometimes you need to think through something carefully.
Exactly. That's healthy thinking. The difference is this. Healthy thinking leads somewhere. It actually ends somewhere. You think, you reach a conclusion, you take action. Done.
But overthinking?
Overthinking goes in circles. You think, then you feel anxious, then you think more, then you feel worse, and there's no action at the end. Nothing gets resolved. You just feel tired.
Okay. So it's not about how long you think, it's about where it goes.
Right. And here's a definition I really like. Overthinking is your brain's attempt to control things that feel uncertain. That's it. Something feels unstable. Your job, a relationship, a decision. And your brain thinks, if I just analyze this enough, I can predict what's going to happen. I can feel safe.
But it doesn't work.
It doesn't work because just thinking about it doesn't fix anything. The uncertainty is still there. The situation is still the same. You just get more tired.
I want to push back a little here, though. Because sometimes when I think through something a lot, I do feel like I'm being responsible. Like, if I'm preparing for something, isn't it good to think carefully?
Yes, that's a fair point. And this is where a lot of people confuse themselves. There's a difference between preparation and going in circles. Preparation moves forward. Going in circles gets you nowhere. Here's a simple test. Ask yourself, is this thought leading me toward an action? Or is it just making me feel worse?
Oh, that's a good question. Because if I'm preparing, I'm usually doing something. Making a list, researching, writing something down. But overthinking? I'm just lying in bed at 2 a.m.
Yes, exactly that.
Okay, so what do we call this when it's happening? What's the English?
Good. Let's start building your vocabulary right now. When your thoughts are moving very fast and you can't slow them down, we say, my mind is racing.
My mind is racing, like the thoughts are running.
Right. And if you're stuck thinking about the same thing over and over again, you can say, I keep replaying it in my head.
Oh, I use that one. Like after a difficult conversation, you just replay it. What I said, what they said, what I should have said.
Yes. And when the cycle gets really intense, when one thought leads to a worse thought and it just keeps going, We call that spiraling. I'm spiraling. Very natural, very modern phrase.
I'm spiraling. Got it.
Listeners, try those three out loud right now. My mind is racing. I keep replaying it in my head. I'm spiraling. Just say them. Get comfortable with the sounds. Okay, so we've covered what overthinking is. Now let's talk about how it actually works inside your brain. Because once you see the pattern clearly, it's much easier to interrupt it.
I like this part. It's almost like once someone draws the map, you can see where you are.
Exactly. So let's draw the map. I'm going to call this the mental spin cycle. Here's how it goes. Step 1, there's a trigger. Something happens. You get an email from your boss that just says, "Can we talk?" No other context.
Oh no. That email. Everyone knows that email.
Everyone knows that email. Okay, so that's the trigger. Step 2, you have a thought. Am I in trouble? Step 3, that thought creates an emotion. Anxiety, a bit of fear. Step 4, the emotion makes you think more. What did I do wrong? Did I make a mistake at work? Is AI already taking over my job? Step 5, the more you think, the worse the emotion gets. And now you're catastrophizing, imagining being fired, telling your family, updating your resume.
All from 4 words in an email.
All from 4 words. And step 6 is the one people don't talk about enough. Avoidance. Instead of replying, instead of just walking over and asking, you do nothing. Because action feels risky. Thinking feels safe.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought about overthinking as avoidance. I always thought it was the opposite, like I was being thorough.
That's really common, and it's actually one of the most important things to understand. Thinking feels like you're doing something, but a lot of the time it's a way of delaying the thing you're actually afraid to do.
Yeah. I can think of times where I spent so long preparing an email that I never sent it.
Exactly. Now, there's another useful thing to know. Overthinking usually goes in one of 2 directions, either forward or backward. Forward is, what if? What if this goes wrong? What if they hate me? What if I fail? That's future-based anxiety.
And backward?
Backward is, I should have. I should have said something different. I should have prepared more. I should have known better. That's past-based regret.
So we're either worrying about the future or regretting the past.
And neither one is the present.
That's actually really deep.
Listeners, here's a question for you. When you overthink, are you usually going forward or backward? What if, or I should have? Think about it. Maybe write it in the comments.
Okay, I want to say something here that might be a little controversial.
Go ahead.
I think some people, and I include myself in this, almost feel proud of being an overthinker. Like it's a sign that you're thoughtful or intelligent, or you care more than other people.
That's interesting. Do you think that's true, though? Or is it a story we tell ourselves?
Both, maybe? I mean, there is some truth to it, right? Like, people who see more possibilities tend to worry more. If you can only imagine one outcome, you don't worry much. But if your brain generates 10 possible outcomes, 5 of them will feel scary.
That's actually a fair point. And I think it explains why high-performing people, professionals, people who are ambitious, often struggle with this more. They're used to thinking carefully and thoroughly. That's a skill at work. But it doesn't switch off when they get home.
Right. It's like the same tool that makes you good at your job becomes a problem at 2 in the morning.
Exactly. And for English learners, this is very real. There's something that happens when you're speaking in a second language. You start monitoring every word. Did I use the right grammar? Did that vocabulary sound strange? Did they understand me? And suddenly, you're so busy analyzing your own speech that you stop actually speaking.
Oh, I know this feeling. When I first moved to an English-speaking country, I would replay conversations after they ended. Did I sound natural or weird? Did I make a mistake?
And it's not just after, it happens during the conversation too.
Yes, this is so real. Sometimes I'm speaking and I'm thinking in my native language first, then trying to translate while I'm talking. And by the time I find the right word, the moment is gone. Or I start a sentence, get lost in the middle, and just stop. And then I feel embarrassed.
That's overthinking happening in real time. You're not just speaking, you're speaking, translating, editing, judging yourself, all at the same moment. No wonder it feels exhausting.
It's like trying to drive a car while reading the instruction manual.
Exactly that. So there are actually 3 moments where this happens. Before you speak, you overprepare, you hesitate. During, you translate, you self-edit mid-sentence. And after, you replay everything and judge yourself.
And all 3 are the same cycle, just at different times.
And the irony is, that self-monitoring is what actually makes your English sound unnatural. Fluency doesn't come from thinking more carefully. It comes from trusting yourself enough to not overthink every sentence. Fluency comes from feeling the language, not analyzing it. And you only learn to feel it through speaking practice, through repetition.
I'm overanalyzing my grammar. I like that phrase.
Yes, that's a great one. I'm overanalyzing my grammar. Say it out loud, listeners. It's useful, and it's honest. Talking about overanalyzing, there's a cultural concept in Korea called nunchi. It's the ability to read social situations, to sense how people feel without them saying it out loud. It's actually a really impressive social skill.
But
But for some people, it tips over. Instead of just reading the room, you start analyzing every facial expression, every pause, every word choice. Did they seem annoyed? Was that tone different? And then you're not reading the room anymore. You're overanalyzing it.
the skill becomes the problem.
Sometimes the thing that helps you starts working against you. Okay, so we've talked about what overthinking is, how the cycle works, and why so many smart, capable people fall into it. Now let's actually do something about it.
Yes, because so far it's been a bit heavy. I'm feeling a little seen.
Good. That means it's working. So, the first tool I want to give you is called the fact versus fear filter. And it's simple. When you have an anxious thought, you ask yourself one question. Is this a fact, or is this my fear filling in the gaps?
Can you show how that works? Like real examples?
Yes, let's do it. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, I sent that email 2 hours ago. They haven't replied. My brain says they're angry with me.
Fact or fear?
Fear. The fact is, they haven't replied. That's it. The email got sent. I don't have evidence they're angry. I'm inventing the emotional meaning.
Okay, another one. I gave a presentation at work. I think I stumbled on a few words. My brain says, everyone in the room thought I was bad at my job.
Fear. The fact is, you stumbled on a few words. That's it. You don't have evidence anyone thought anything negative. You're mind reading, trying to know what's inside people's heads, which is impossible.
So the tool is just separating what actually happened from what you're imagining happened.
Exactly. And it sounds simple, but when you're in the spiral, those two things feel exactly the same. Your fear feels as real as a fact.
Now, what about the AI job thing from the beginning? Someone reads those headlines and thinks, I'm going to lose my job. Is that fear?
That's where it gets a little nuanced, because AI is real. That concern is not irrational. Some jobs are changing. So the honest answer is part of that thought is fact, and part of it is fear amplifying the fact into catastrophe.
So it's not always one or the other.
Right, and that's where the second question helps. Is this thought leading to an action? If reading about AI makes you think, maybe I should learn a new skill, that's productive, that's healthy. But if it just makes you scroll more articles at midnight and feel helpless, that's the cycle. That's going in circles.
Problem solving moves forward. Rumination moves in circles.
Exactly. And the English phrase for when you catch yourself ruminating, I'm going in circles. Very natural. I've been going in circles about this all day.
Listeners, let's try a quick drill. I'll say a thought. You decide. Fact or fear? Here we go. I said something weird at lunch. My colleague looked uncomfortable.
Think about it. The fact. You said something. Your colleague's expression changed. The fear. That they now dislike you permanently, are telling others, are going to affect your job. See the difference?
One more. I've been learning English for 3 years, and I still make mistakes. I'll never be fluent.
The fact. You've been learning for 3 years. You still make mistakes. The fear. You'll never improve. Never is a fear word. Facts rarely contain never, or always, or everyone.
Oh, that's a good rule.
Watch for never, always, everyone, no one. Those are almost always fear language, not fact language. Okay, let's move to the reset framework. And honestly, I'm not going to give you 8 tools, because every other video about overthinking gives you 8 tools and you forget all of them.
True. I've watched those. I remember nothing.
3 tools, just 3. And the goal is to interrupt the spin cycle before it gets too fast to stop. Tool number 1, label it. When you notice you're overthinking, say it out loud. Name what's happening. I'm catastrophizing. I'm spiraling. I'm probably mind reading right now. That's just my anxiety talking.
And why does that help? It feels almost too simple.
It works because the moment you name something, you create a small distance between you and the thought. Instead of being inside the thought, you're observing it. You're not saying the thought is wrong or stupid. You're just noticing, oh, this is a pattern. This is the cycle.
I actually tried this recently. I was really nervous before a work meeting, and I just said to myself, I'm catastrophizing. And it didn't fix everything, but it kind of took the pressure down a little.
Exactly. It's not a magic fix. It's a pause button. Tool number 2, switch the question. Overthinking usually runs on why questions. Why is this happening? Why did they say that? Why can't I figure this out? The problem with why is that it looks backward. It searches for causes but doesn't produce solutions. Switch to what. What can I actually do right now? What is one small action I can take?
So instead of why did my boss send that email, it's what can I do? Reply, ask, clarify.
Right. Why keeps you in your head? What moves you forward?
And that connects to the avoidance thing from earlier. Overthinking is often a delay. And what can I do breaks the delay.
Exactly. Tool number 3, action over analysis. This is the hardest one, but it's also the most effective. At some point, you have to decide, I have thought about this enough, and I'm going to do the thing. Send the email. Make the call. Ask the person directly. Start the application. Learn the new skill.
Even if it's not perfect.
Especially if it's not perfect. Because here's something worth sitting with. Overthinking is not a thinking problem. It's really about not being able to sit with uncomfortable feelings. What you're really afraid of is uncertainty, rejection, being wrong. And no amount of thinking removes those feelings. Only taking action does.
I want to push back on that slightly, because I think for some people, and maybe this is cultural too, taking action without fully thinking it through feels irresponsible, not just uncomfortable, like a character flaw.
That's a real tension, and I don't want to dismiss that. There's a difference between rushing and taking care of it now. You're not rushing when you stop overthinking and act. You're releasing the need for certainty that was never going to come anyway.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Bonus tool, and this one is really practical. Scheduled worry time. Pick 15 minutes in your day. Say, during this time, I am allowed to worry. I'll write it down, think it through. But outside of that window, I notice the thought, I label it, and I let it pass.
I've heard about this. It sounds strange, but apparently it works because your brain trusts that you haven't ignored the worry. You've just postponed it.
Yes, it's a way of giving your brain space to process without letting it run all day.
Okay, I want to come back to something Emma said earlier about English learners specifically, because I think this is really important for everyone listening.
Yes,
When I was first learning English, I would sometimes completely freeze in a conversation. Not because I didn't know the words, but because I was thinking so hard about whether I was using them correctly that by the time I decided what to say, the moment had passed.
perfection paralysis, when you're so afraid of making a mistake that you don't move.
Yes, and I remember feeling like if I could just be sure my sentence was right, then I would speak. But that certainty never came, so I kept not speaking.
And this is the same cycle, the overthinking loop in English. Trigger, I want to say something. Thought, what if it sounds wrong? Emotion, fear and embarrassment. More thought, I'll wait until I'm more sure. Avoidance, silence. And silence feels safe in the moment, but it costs you practice. It costs you confidence.
So fluency requires letting go of that?
Fluency requires tolerance for imperfection. You will make mistakes. Native speakers make mistakes. The goal is communication, not perfect grammar.
I'm overanalyzing my grammar. I'm going to use that phrase.
Yes, and also, I'm in my head right now. That's a really natural phrase. Sorry, I'm a bit in my head today. It means you're overthinking, you're distracted by your own thoughts. People understand it immediately.
I'm in my head right now. Good one.
All right, let's bring all of this together with a phrase pack. These are natural, modern expressions for talking about overthinking. In English, with other people, or just to yourself.
These are phrases I actually use now. I wish I'd had them earlier. Let's go through them.
First group, describing the state. My mind is racing. I keep replaying it in my head. I'm spiraling. I've been going in circles about this. I'm in my head. I can't switch off.
I can't switch off. That's a good one. Like your brain won't shut down.
Exactly. Very common. Second group, labeling the pattern. I'm probably catastrophizing. I might be overanalyzing this. I'm jumping to conclusions. That's just my anxiety talking. I think I'm mind reading. I'm overanalyzing my grammar.
These are really useful because they let you acknowledge the pattern without completely dismissing the thought.
Exactly. You're not saying, I'm stupid for thinking this. You're just naming what's happening. Third group, the interruptions, the reset phrases. Let me slow that thought down. Is this a fact or a fear? What can I actually do right now? I've thought about this enough. Time to act. I'm going to let that thought pass.
Okay, let's practice. I'll give you a situation. You choose the most natural phrase. Ready, listeners? Try to answer before we do. Situation 1. You sent a text to a friend 3 hours ago. They haven't replied. Your brain starts racing. What do you say to yourself?
I might be overanalyzing this. Or, is this a fact or a fear? The fact is, they haven't replied. The fear is that they're ignoring you.
Situation 2. You just finished a job interview. It's the next morning and you're still thinking about everything you said. You can't focus on anything else.
I keep replaying it in my head. That's exactly what's happening. Or, I've been going in circles about this. Time to let it go.
Situation 3. You're about to speak English in a meeting. You know what you want to say, but you keep second-guessing your grammar. You go quiet.
I'm overanalyzing my grammar. Or, I'm in my head right now. And the action? Say the sentence anyway.
How many did you get? If you got all 3, excellent. If you got 1 or 2, that's still great. Go back and listen to the phrase pack section again. That's what podcasts are for.
And for everyone, try writing one sentence in the comments using any of these phrases. Describe something you overthink. Use the language. That's real practice.
We covered a lot today. Let's do a quick recap.
We talked about what overthinking actually is, an attempt to control things that feel uncertain, not just thinking too much. We talked about the mental spin cycle, how a trigger becomes a spiral, and how avoidance keeps it going. We talked about why smart, ambitious people tend to overthink more, and why English learners are especially vulnerable to this. We learned the fact versus fear filter. We learned 3 reset tools, and we built a whole phrase pack you can actually use.
That was a full episode.
It was. And before we go, we want to say something. Genuinely.
The fact that you spend your time here, learning English, working on yourself, that's not a small thing. A lot of people consume content. You're actually trying to grow. That means something.
We love seeing your progress. We love reading your comments. You are the reason we make these episodes. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for being here with us today.
Keep going. Even when the progress feels slow, even when you make mistakes, especially then.
Be patient with yourself. Overthinking your English is not a flaw. It means you care. Just don't let it stop you from speaking.
And hey, one thought before you go. The next time your brain starts spiraling about something, try saying this out loud. Is this a fact, or is this my fear?
It won't fix everything, but it might just slow the spin cycle down long enough to take one step forward.
Take care of yourself.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.